Ritter, what do you mean by that? We'll be handling this from here on through the Stingray Group's Incident Management Division. Why are you taking over what we're supposed to do? Who do you think you are, the police? We have already reached an agreement with the VCPD Valhalla City Police Department. From now on, this matter is our responsibility. What? If you really don't believe me, feel free to contact headquarters directly. Fine, let's see about that. The responding officer huffed indignantly and radioed his station. The reply he received was, withdraw immediately and return, along with a lecture not to stop by any bars on the way back. Clearly, someone higher up had made a unilateral decision. At last, the officer, ordered to stand down, threw his radio down in frustration and shouted, David, what kind of trickery are you using? Trickery? As I said, we only requested your understanding. We received information that the anti-corporate gang called Bloodfang had seized one of our company's prototype military drones. And what of it? If that intel is accurate, deploying police or firefighters here could put them in danger, and we must also protect our own technical security. Nonsense! The officer snorted. We got reports of numerous bodies with severed heads. There were gunshots. Did your fancy new drone come equipped for that? That is information we cannot disclose. However, what we have uncovered is that a riot broke out within the gang just before the fire started. Impossible! Where would there be infighting so extreme they behead one another? Moreover, a few hours earlier there was a homicide reported in the East Sector Black Market area. Of course, in East Sector teeming with crime, murders are not unheard of. What are you hiding? His instincts as a detective spoke. This was no ordinary incident. Something was being concealed. Yet Maria, her expression still unchanged, replied, I have already told you everything I can. Please, step aside. Us, headquarters or not, I will not let this go. Then goodbye. Maria bowed politely to the officer and continued toward the factory. Stingray security personnel in LV.3 powered suits blocked the officer who tried to follow her. Officer, please desist. I said, let me go. Glancing at their scuffle, Maria resumed walking toward the abandoned factory. Passing through a holographic marker reading Do Not Enter, she entered the Stingray Incident Management Operation. Some were dousing the flames with extinguishers, while others placed the decapitated corpses into body bags. Maria watched the scene and let out a barely audible sigh. What on earth have you done, young Master Aaron? Even before he fell ill, Aaron would sometimes vanish into Elysium hunting prey. Each time, Maria strove to conceal his actions so they wouldn't harm the Stingray group. Thus, Maria had already expected someone would die by Aaron's hand tonight. Indeed, she was almost grateful he chose E Sector as his hunting ground this evening. In crime-ridden E Sector, a few chopped-up bodies could be covered up easily. But the scale of tonight's incident far exceeded her expectations. A fire that consumed the entire deserted factory. Testimonies from nearby residents recounting gunshots. And already over 20 confirmed fatalities at the scene. Perhaps I can at least lean on the prototype military drone excuse. For now, it sufficed, and if needed she could come up with another cover story. But aside from whether the cleanup succeeds, Aaron's actions had grown increasingly audacious and brutal. I thought he'd been quiet for a while. As though making up for his restraint, he enacted a massacre. Fortunately, Aaron had contacted her early, otherwise police or media might have caught wind first. Even so, evading the police and press isn't the end of it. The real problem was murmurs starting within the Stingray group itself. If this continues, our entire group could be at risk. Some even call the Stingrays the royal house, comparing their influence in New Valhalla City to that of an emperor. Yet no power is absolute. Rivals seeking the group's downfall were surely sharpening their blades to exploit any misstep. And young Master Aaron is like a ticking time bomb for our group. If his deeds were exposed, the whole group would tremble. For Maria, who had pledged her life to the Stingray group, it was more terrifying than the world ending. So, there is no choice. Maria made her decision. One she had been too personally loyal to make until now. Aaron Stingray must disappear. Are you ready? Go ahead. Lying back in a chair fit for a dentist's office, I answered Mew's question. The mechanical tail extending from her lower back twitched stiffly in tension. She tried to maintain a composed expression, but her tail gave her away. Don't be too nervous. I'll do my best. No wonder she was nervous. The disease gnawing at my life called genetic overcast existed only in theory until now. No matter her genius, this would be Miu's first time confronting such a malady. I am sorry, it's my first time seeing a gentleman's lower half exposed. Clearly, her anxiety stemmed from something else. Right, I'd almost forgotten in all the urgency. This young lady has a bit of a perv streak. After nearly 10 years holed up tinkering with machines, it was unreasonable to expect her to be entirely normal. But didn't I say it's my first time? You've been making nanomachines all this time? It's not like I need you to undress for the injection. Miu's face turned bright red, best not to press further. Regardless, though uneasy, it showed she was confident in her technical skill. How long until it's all done? Oh, probably about 3 hours. That's shorter than I expected. It's just Pandora injection and slight adjustments after that. It depends on your stamina, Aaron SSI. Miu continued outlining the procedure. First, inject Pandora. Second, Pandora circulates through the body, removes the atom malfunctioning within, and assumes Atom's role. Third, completely detach all equipped modules. Fourth, using the regeneration enhanced by Pandora, gradually restore the body to its natural state. They say that by following those steps, the disease that has plagued me these past few days can be completely cured. At first, it's important to bring the replacement rate down to 0%. Why is that? Only then can we fine-tune Pandora's settings to match you, Aaron SSI. For high replacement rate adaptants like you, it's difficult to adjust Pandora's options while modules are equipped. Replacement rate. In simple terms, it refers to what percentage of the body has been replaced by machines via modules. For example, replacing all your bones with a tungsten alloy yields a replacement rate of around 10%. If you then swap all your muscles for synthetic carbon cables or convert your organs into biogenerators, your replacement rate climbs even higher. In a sense, the more modules you equip and the more you augment your body, the greater your strength becomes. However, you cannot equip modules indiscriminately. If their compatibilities conflict, errors can occur. Moreover, when replacement rates exceed 70%, for some reason, even if you detach the modules, your original body doesn't fully revert, leading to complications. In other words, once you equip modules, you can't change them. For that reason, the government strictly prohibits moduling beyond 70% by law. Those who violate it are deemed non-human entities. A natural body at 30% replacement. That is the minimum threshold to be recognized as human in this world, which makes the presence of an exceptional modular like Miu all the more vital. Modulars not only produce and maintain modules, but also optimize module setups within the 70% limit for maximum efficiency, tailored to their clients. In fantasy terms, like a personal master blacksmith. Recruiting Miu from the start was a huge advantage. Of course, for now she is bound only by contract. To truly win her loyalty, several more steps will be needed. All right, let's begin. Very well. As the chair reclined, my gaze naturally lifted to the ceiling. The large syringes on the mechanical arms all bore down on me. This may sting a bit. A simultaneous prick across my entire body. I lost consciousness. But before long, I opened my eyes again. What on earth? Had something gone wrong with the procedure? It felt like less than 30 seconds had passed. Oh, you're awake. The treatment went perfectly. Thank goodness. But how could it feel so brief? Has it already been 3 hours? And no, your recovery rate was far beyond expectations, Aaron SSI. Only about an hour has passed. It seems Pandora suits your body exceptionally well. What does that mean? Well, I'll show you. Miu then displayed a graph. Though filled with technical terms I didn't fully understand, one thing was clear. Your pure specs have grown stronger. About a 21.3% increase in abilities. Compared to a completely unmoduled, basic state, I was roughly 20% stronger. Strength, stamina, agility, recovery, all noticeably improved. Insane. I knew Miu's nanomachines were high performance, but this is even already overpowered, and I only needed the disease cured. How much stronger could this monstrosity become? However, your senses may be more sensitive than usual. so you might need time to adapt for now. Except for test modules, everything is detached. We just need to fine-tune Pandora's options a bit more. Miu sat beside me with her tablet, checking my condition, asking if I felt pain anywhere, if I saw any strange discoloration, and so on. Honestly, I was a bit stunned, but I felt good. My body was much lighter, and the persistent ache was gone. Is the disease truly gone? Absolutely. It looks like Pandora has settled in properly. You may remove the diagnostic modules now. Following her instructions, I removed the module from the cyberware socket at my nape and handed it to her. She accepted it and continued. I've adjusted Pandora's options to military-grade specs to match your abilities as closely as possible. I also installed the application. However, many of your usual modules are now incompatible. Let's check. Sending you the list now. Miu manipulated her tablet, and an email notification popped up. The mail contained a module compatibility report, which I quickly skimmed. As I expected, almost all are unusable. Nearly 90% of my previous modules had become incompatible. The only one still on par was my signature weapon, the Cloud Spider. Its compatibility had decreased somewhat, but it seemed still usable. Well, weapon modules often gain compatibility through use, so it should be fine. With this, I could protect myself and continue my plans without major issues. Actually, with my pure specs 20% stronger, isn't that overkill? Like expanding a max level from 100 to 120 in a game. Even if I can't use modules now, if I recover full compatibility later, Aaron's specs 20% stronger than the original pinnacle. Terrifying, even to my own body. And besides, I still had that. Miu, have you checked the modules I retrieved? I'm sorry, I completely forgot. No matter, could you bring them? Miu fetched a plastic bag she'd stored aside. It was filled with module chips, resembling SD cards modules taken from the Bloodfang corpses earlier. I rifled through the bag and pulled out a uniquely colored chip. The rest were useless junk. Miu asked, what is that? It doesn't look like one of my modules. That is the Corpse Eater module. A relic of the dead protagonist, Shade Wells. A mystic module with absurd abilities, sacrificing a bit of replacement rate to forcibly boost the compatibility of all equipped modules. Upon that explanation, Miu's eyes widened and she wore the expression of a puppy awaiting a treat. I could guess what she was thinking. Want to research it? Why you won't? No need to decline. You are now my exclusive modular. If you research it and produce results, it benefits me as well. Really? Thank you. Just don't break it. Don't worry, I won't. Miu bounced like a child on Christmas morning after receiving the Corpse Eater. Seeing her happy made me equally pleased. How could I not be when my favorite character is joyful? And examine this as well. What is this? Another special item that forcibly raises compatibility. The so-called module compatibility boost ticket. I had accumulated enough points from dismantling Bloodfang to purchase it before receiving Pandora. Remarkably, upon purchase it materialized before me. Though I considered using it immediately, I decided to invest it for the future. I'll entrust this to you too. It'd be great if you can uncover its principles. If you can't, I'll retrieve it. I'll do my best probably. For someone with such low self-esteem, that was a valiant answer. She clearly didn't want her new toys taken away. I'd like to see any results within a month. After that, I'll have to take it back. Oh, 1 month? Miu tilted her head. May I ask why only 1 month? If you give me more time. Oh, 1 month, without fail. By then, you'll have a place to go. Where am I going with you? I answered without hesitation. Trinity Academy.